Welcome to The Moms I Know with Sheila Walsh-Denton and Maria Anderson-Farner. Two moms on a mission to reclaim childhood and take you from surviving to thriving on your parenting journey. The Moms I Know is your go-to source for motivation, inspiration, and resources, and real conversation about motherhood and parenting with intention. Thank you for being a part of our community. We hope you enjoyed this episode.
Hope is being able to see that there is light despite all of the darkness. Desmond Tutu. Welcome to the Moms I Know. So Sheila and I are here today wrapping up season 3, and it's actually the 2-year anniversary of us doing this podcast. And so we are just so grateful for this opportunity, for all of you, for the work that we have been able to do together, for the support that we've been given, and for the opportunity to be able to share some of our insights around conscious family living. And so with this, here we are, summer of 2020, in the midst of quite a bit of darkness globally in terms of the pandemic, the economy, social and racial injustice. There are so many things that are weighing so heavily on many, many people. And yet we want to be focusing on this idea of hope. And so this quote of Desmond Tutu is so appropriate right now, because we always need to be looking to the future, especially for our children. And I think that, Sheila, I know that I've gotten teased over the years, and we've talked about this, that I've been called Pollyanna before. And yet I always say to myself, well, wouldn't that be better than the others? So I just am going to continue to look at this as an opportunity for growth, as an opportunity to say, okay, what can we do better? So whether it's in our personal lives, our professional lives, in our communities, globally, I really feel like this is an opportunity for us to say, thank you so much for the things that come, and then to use them as this window on the future.
I think Pollyanna is much better than Cruella, so I don't think you have to worry about that. But it is true. I do remember that. But you are eternally optimistic, and that's a gift. It's like I do come to you, and I think others do too, is because you are so positive. And I think as parents, as moms especially, we need to do that, especially right now, especially keeping what we think, I don't want to say keeping normal, but really protecting our children from all the fear. This generation, they're growing up in this right now, and we do not want to be fear-based, because when there's fear is overwhelming, it shuts you down, it closes you off, and that's when you get stunted, and we don't want that. And so it's important. Yesterday I've been a little bit under the weather, just to kind of a little bit of a runny nose and everything. And it's I was laying in bed just doing a lot of thinking, and we're going through a move right now. And so there's a lot of pressure, but I'm just saying, like, I have to just take action. I have to, get up and just start moving forward to make things happen. And that's how you change of scenery and everything.
Well, hope is that, motivation for the future. And so, again, we do need to be sort of like the cheerleaders for our children. And when I was a child, I used to get a lot of tummy aches, and I didn't really want to go to school. And my mother was always, and, I think I get this from her. She has also been called Pollyanna, but this, on days when I wouldn't feel great, she'd say, get up, get going, you'll be fine. And most of the time that was true. You get up, you get going, you take action, and you are fine. And then every once in a while, no, you just need to curl up. And when we're feeling unhealthy or fearful, like you said, then we contract. And so this idea of optimism and hope. And so I appreciate that, Desmond Tutu has said this so simply and yet so perfectly about, yes, in the midst of darkness, that light is what guides us. And also somebody pointed out that like a single match or a single candle can light up an entire room of darkness. And so it's not kind of a 50-50. It's like the light really sheds so much more light into the darkness. And so I think we need to be that light. We need to be that candle or the match or whatever going forward, and that we need to have it ripple out. I'm seeing so much negativity everywhere online and, just even sometimes out in the world. And when we can smile and say hello and just reach out to people, it makes such a difference. And I always love being around people that are positive. And so, yes, it's difficult sometimes and we have to draw on that inner strength, but it is so important. And so for our children, really helping them to know that we're going to be able to take care of them, that we're here for them, that we are taking action in the midst of all of this, that we're protecting them from hopefully the pandemic and hopefully from all of the other negative things that can be occurring in this future. But it's also this unknown. And if it's unknown, why would we wallow in despair and angst and uncertainty when we don't know? And so, there's even just that quote about, you can be stuck in traffic and uptight, or you can be stuck in traffic. Maybe we can't change it. And so I think that we always need to come with this perspective of that it's going to be okay and hope for the best.
We could just call it the Pollyanna Perspective.
Yeah. Anyhow, I think that, like you said, it certainly beats Cruella. And I'm struck by how much negativity there can be out there when there's not a consequence. And I think that that's part of the whole online world, that people are saying things online or in writing that they would never say in person. And so here we have this double paradigm of, when we are in the midst of this pandemic, we're not getting out as much. We're not in person as much. We're in this sort of virtual reality of writing and Twitter and all of the different social media types of things. And so I think we have to come back to this idea of, if we are in the presence of somebody, how do we speak to them and with them? And with our children, that we are always modeling for them the way that we would hope to be spoken to is the way that we are speaking to them. And that also when we are coming from a place of fear or anger or upset, that it's actually, when that's directed at our children, that's actually, shutting down their little nervous systems. And so it's creating, trauma every time. And even if it's minor trauma, it is there. And so we have to be thinking about that when we are modeling for our children what we're hoping that they will take on.
Yeah, that's right. And so as we think about wrapping up this season 3, can't believe we've, I don't know, did you say this is actually our 2-year podcast anniversary? I don't know if we said that, but today marks that anniversary. And just wrapping up season 3, we had no idea that this is what it would happen, that this was what would let's say unveil, but this is what would be. And Maria and I just really want to know that we intend to come back for our 4th season, and we are excited to still be offering, just still having the conversations with the moms I know, and really trying to raise the conversation about conscious parenting, and especially the issues that are coming up. We really want to have more voices of color on our podcast. We want to get uncomfortable so that we are doing our work that we want to model. And that's really important for Maria and I. So we're going to take a couple months off, break from the podcast. And what I want you to know that I am offering homeschooling support through workshops and webinars and one-on-one. And I'm going to be having a monthly membership starting in September. And if you want to find out about that, you can go to purplebeetfamily.com. I'm actually working on my website, so that should be up and running soon. And go ahead, Maria.
Okay, you'll come back to it. Yes.
Yeah.
And this idea that we're taking a break from recording our podcast, but we're not taking a break from our parenting work. And so all of you who have been our listeners, we're so grateful to all of you. And you can find us at our websites. And with the work that we're doing, I will be offering parent coaching with my online program that's going to be continuing this fall, starting in August. And so the other thing that I wanted to point out is if you've just been joining us in these, and maybe you've joined in season 3, we really recommend that you go back and listen to some of the episodes in season 1 and season 2. We've done this in little seasons as we've been talking, not years of the podcast, but there are so many episodes that are foundational, and especially, year 1 was really foundational kinds of concepts. And then lots of interviews with really interesting and dynamic women. And then, of course, our family school has been evolving over the course of that. And then our ebook that we've been working on. So the ebook is available online as well at themomsiknow.com. And that's a homeschool guide. And so, all of the things that we have been working on are there for you as support as we head into this fall season of educating our children, whether we're doing it at home or whether the children are going back to school or whether it's going to be distance learning. So there's so much support for you there. And like we've said several times, we're so grateful for all of you, our listeners. And we just want to make sure that you are accessing that material. And then we will be coming back with season 4 with all sorts of new and exciting information for family support.
Just also to stress, you said the homeschool handbook as well as the homeschool series, the 6 podcast series specifically on homeschool. We recommend you listen to that too. And just to know that we are still here. I love what you said, Maria. We are still doing our parenting work. We're still doing our support, but we want to hear from you. What do you want to hear more of in season 4? And we would also super duper love it if you can leave us a review. We need more reviews so that we can get more attention, and the more reviews you get, the more attention you get for our podcast. And we just think that our message of conscious parenting and conscious mothering is important for this next generation. It is vitally important for these times right now.
So very true. And so we want you to share this with the moms that you know. And we have been doing that with all of the moms that we know, and that ripples out. And as mothers, we are the ones that are going to make the difference. And so as we raise this generation, and I was just talking the other day about, this idea that this generation of children that is growing up in the midst of this pandemic, we have no idea what their gifts are going to be. And so it's more important than ever that we are really taking this time to focus on our families and to deepen our own consciousness around this journey. So with that and with hope, we want to wrap this up today, and we wish you all the best. Stay healthy, stay well, stay focused, and just be optimistic, and we will look forward to a brighter future.
Thank you. Have a happy fall.
Thanks for joining us today for The Moms I Know. We hope you enjoyed today's episode. To get the show notes and resources mentioned in today's episode, visit themomsiknow.com. For information on Maria's programs, visit thefutureoffamily.com. And for information on Sheila's programs, visit purplebeatfamily.com. Don't forget to subscribe and rate us on iTunes, and follow us on Instagram at The Moms I Know Podcast. Until next time, have a joyful family journey.